Welcome back to the Milwaukee Show, and we are talking about the Chicago Blackhawks and what they are going to do this offseason, or what they should do during this offseason, as we're already here. And in a day and some few hours from right now, we will be at the point where they will be up at the stand drafting one of the greatest players to ever be drafted in Conor Bedard. And what a moment we are living in right now. And just a few hours after, yesterday, they trade for Taylor Hall, and they've now re-signed Nick Foligno to a $4 million contract. A little bit of an overpayment, but they've got Taylor Hall on their team now. And what a genius move to bring on Taylor Hall, a former first overall pick himself, and a former Hart Trophy winner, just an absolute star that can will a team like the New Jersey Devils to a playoff spot. And now they brought him on the team to be a great pairing to play with the amazing player in Conor Bedard and give him a true teammate to play with. I mean, what a spectacular gift that the Blackhawks are giving Conor to play with. In his first season, a lot of teams, these idiotic teams that are going through these rebuilds when they draft these great players to put on their team, they give them no help. Take a look at the New Jersey Devils with Jack Hughes. He had no one to play with the first couple of years of his season, and now finally he's snapped and become a superstar himself. But when he started, he had nobody to have help with, and that's one thing that these rebuilding teams never do. And the Blackhawks, they are smart right now. They bring on Taylor Hall, and they're giving Conor Bedard a true star to play with and be able to get actual good lines in. When he's out there for the 20 minutes that they're going to have him play, or the 15 or whatever he ends up playing a night, he is going to have a true player on his line to play with and make some good passes to and from with, and make true opportunities and get those points and just be a star. Great genius move, and now's the time for them to keep going. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. For right now, they've got two options. I'm going to cut down to here in this area. Two options for the Chicago Blackhawks. Option A, they buy in on the free agent market with the amount of money that they have. They go into the trade market and they bring on some of the big names. Or option B, do they just sit back, stay in rebuild mode, and have a couple bad seasons more where they draft a couple more draft picks with their high picks and get a couple good players on this team, and they wait a few seasons until like 4 years from now when the young guys have developed into a good team, hopefully. I think that would be stupid. I think this is the time that you buy in right now. I mean, this is Chicago. This is the Blackhawks. This is one of the biggest franchises in NHL history, and they're going to be bringing on Conor Bedard. I say they strike. They've got $31.5 million to spend. That's second most, I believe, in the NHL at this point. And they have 15 out of 23 roster spots filled, so they still got to bring on 8 guys, and they only have 4 RFAs and 5 UFAs to re-sign. And those guys, other than Philip Khrushchev, they don't really have anyone like important to re-sign. Like, they don't have like anyone who's going to be taking up big money. And Khrushchev, what is he going to take up? Like what? Maybe $3-4 million, maybe something like that. And they still got plenty of money left over to spend. I say they push forward. Don't waste Conor Bedard's the first few seasons when he's going to be paid less than $1 million. Don't let him start his career, and he's going to naturally produce, I think, like Connor McDavid, and bring in like those 70-point seasons. So at the end of his 3 years, even if he has not 100-point seasons or something, he's going to be wanting the big money. And then you're going to have to start offloading guys. So use this 3 years that they have at less than $1 million and buy in on some of these guys. My choice of action going forward right now would be buy in. Go all in. Get it? If you get it, type down below in the comments. Did you get it? Anyways, go all in for this team. Grab Mark Scheifele. For one, I think that would be smart, as Mark Scheifele is a great centerman, and this team really needs, if you're going to have Taylor Hall on that top line with Conor Bedard, I say bring on another centerman as well. At least some centerman. I think Scheifele would be smart because, he's on that trade market. He's going to be going anytime soon. And I think Scheifele, Bedard, and Taylor Hall, genius move, because Scheifele's known to not have the best of offense. If he's going to just strictly pour on to Conor Bedard and help him with his points production, genius. I think that top line as an all-out offensive line for one season. Grab up these one season left guys, these 1 year left before re-signing. Grab up Scheifele, and then the new news about the Calgary Flames players, Lindholm, Toffoli. Those two guys are paid in the $4 million range. Scheifele $6 million. Bring those three names, Scheifele, Toffoli, and Lindholm. You're only spending less than $20 million on those three guys alone. And then Noah Hannafin as well. This team definitely could use a couple more defensemen on the back end, especially some young guys. And if you could bring on Noah Hannafin and have him on this team, I think that's a great start. Hannafin, and I know Jones is a joke. I feel like people make fun of him. I don't think he's the worst defenseman in the world. He's definitely far from the best, but he's not the worst. And if they could have Seth Jones and Noah Hannafin, that's at least something going of a defense. And then buy in on the free market. With these names, you're still going to have at least a few $1 million left to spend on. Bring on a guy like Dmitry Orlov, maybe. A guy like Matt Grishalik, potentially. And you can start building together a true team. And then I say start going in on these depth guys like Ross Colton that the Tampa Bay Lightning are probably not going to be able to re-sign. Guys like Matthew Phillips. I know people probably don't even know who this Matthew Phillips guy is. I talk about him every video that I've been talking about. He got 77 points. He was 4th in the AHL, and he was huge in their playoff run as well. Amazing player. I saw him in action and live in person right in the front row. He moves the puck very well. He's got a great shot. He's always well in position. And a team like the Blackhawks, who are sort of rebuilding, but at the same time, I think in my course of action here, putting together a good team, putting a guy like Phillips in the lineup on a small contract because he's trying to still prove himself, sign him to 2 years at $1 million or something like that, put him on the ice and see if he's like a Michael Bunting, a Connor Garland who goes out there and has that potential to either be something special, or if he's just a he's a fourth liner, then you're not paying him a lot of money and you gave the guy this chance to play well. I think he probably would pan out. Put a guy like Teddy Bluger with that playoff experience with the Penguins and now the Vegas Golden Knights. Put him on there. Those depth guys of Colton, Bluger, and Phillips. I mean, you're putting together some solid lines now with this team. And it's not like they have the worst players in the world. They still got Athanasiou on this lineup. So they got some guys from the current team that can slot into this team well. Kurashev's still going to be on the team. I'm sure they're going to re-sign him. And with these one-year guys, so for this current season, I say put together an interesting team. Go from 30, what were they, to 29th or something like that in the league. Go from 29th and put your team into a wild card position. I'm not saying that they're going to win the Stanley Cup. They're not going to win the Stanley Cup this year. But I say buying in on some of these one-year left guys like Scheifele, Lindholm, Toffoli, buy them in, bring them onto this team, and just have an interesting season. Just say, hey, hell, just throw it out there. Just go out there, play just whatever you want to do. We might get scored on the most in the entire league. We might not have the best goaltender in net or something like that, but just go get out there and score some goals. Be exciting. We got Conor Bedard. And you guys, with 1 year left, play like hell. Go earn yourself a better contract. And who knows? Maybe if it works out, guys like Mark Scheifele are like, hell yeah, I like playing with Bedard. I just got 79 points this season, and I helped the kid get up to 30 goals or something like that. Sure, I'll stay here. Guys like Lindholm are like, I need a place to stay. I like the Windy City. It's a big city. I like the atmosphere of the place, and I like the pizza here. Hell, I'll stay here. Why not? Maybe guys like Toffoli are like, it's not for me. They walk. Maybe guys like Noah Hannafin are like, yeah, maybe I'll walk too. Then next season, go out and buy some more contracts as the cap rises as well. And then next year, retool again. But I think this year, you buy into the hype. What a waste would it be to have Conor Bedard on this team with just Taylor Hall? Maybe they get some centerman like some upgrade. I don't even know, like, I have no idea. Just some center, JT Comfer. They signed like JT Comfer, and it's just a season where the Blackhawks are bad again, but not the worst in the league. Maybe they're up in like 25th place, and it's like boring year, and they just lose, right? And unfortunately, as the world we live in, that's usually what teams do. But I think this is the year they buy in. Could you imagine the hype around this team and just how cool it would be and how much attention would be on them if they sign all these guys? Because they've got the money. They've got the money, and with Conor Bedard, they've got the centerpiece. Build around him. Try to bring on some young guys too, like some young proven guys. Lindholm's not that old. Hannafin's not that old. Bring on these guys and start building for the future and retool next season. That's what I say, and I think go for like a wild card spot, and especially in the Central Division. I mean, with the upcoming year, Colorado is in a bit of a pickle, so they might drop down a little bit in the standings. So they might be more reachable, but probably not. The Winnipeg Jets got a wild card this year. They're not going to be there. The Minnesota Wild are an interesting team. I think they're probably playoff worthy, so they'll probably make it in. Nashville, probably not. The Dallas Stars, probably not going to be as good as they were that last year. I think that there is a wild card spot or a top 3 spot ready for a team like this Blackhawks squad that I'm coming up with here that could steal a spot, and I think it would be smart. I think that's what they should do. Buy into the hype. Don't let Conor Bedard's first few seasons go to waste, because once that runs out and he gets his big contract, his big payday in 3 years, then he gets signed like, what, $7 million at least, then you're going to be kissing some of this money that you have space for gone. So that's all I got to say. Buy into the hype, build up a team, and let Bedard become a star. And by the end of those 3 years, when he is that McDavid-level player and he's up in the 100 points, and I know things aren't certain, but just the way that this guy has broken the records and stuff, like, he feels like this is a true athlete. This is a true hockey player. Like, that is a Connor McDavid level. Because players that are breaking these records, like, they aren't like the type of player that's going to bust. This is the type of player that is going to succeed, and he's going to do it. I say don't waste them. Don't wait 3 years until you're paying him more money. Buy in now and do it now. And that's all I got to say. So thank you for watching this. If you've made it this far, please, I'm begging you, pick up your free subscription. And until next time, too sweet, have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.